My sister-in-law, Monica, was obsessed with CEO romance novels featuring adorable babies. To marry into wealth, Monica gave up her hotel cleaning job, secretly plotting to get pregnant with the CEO's child. But he had no idea. How could a CEO be so careless with his personal life? I advised her not to be reckless. Monica, surprisingly, listened, discarding the personal item she'd stolen from the CEO. Unexpectedly, a few months later, another cleaning lady became pregnant with the CEO's child using the exact same method. She gave birth to septuplets. This ordinary mother now lived a life of luxury, residing in a lavish mansion, driving supercars, and receiving 2 million yuan monthly. Monica despised me, convinced I had shattered her dream of marrying into wealth. She lured me to an illicit clinic, where I tragically died on the operating table. After my rebirth, I returned to the day Monica secretly entered the CEO's hotel room, intent on seducing him. This time, I watched coldly as she hurtled towards her own demise. "Anya, aren't you an obstetric nurse? Just help me get pregnant with the CEO's child, and once I'm rich, I won't forget you." The excruciating pain of the 35 cm steel needle piercing my body hadn't faded. Yet, Monica's joyful voice echoed in my ears. I suddenly realized I had been reborn. I had returned to the very day Monica stole the CEO's personal item, planning to use it for artificial insemination to have his precious baby. Monica had been married into our family for less than a month when my brother, Liam, died in a car accident. Our whole family pitied her, a young widow. My father arranged a cleaning job for her at a 5-star hotel. My mother gave her the entire 500,000 yuan compensation my brother received. And I, because Monica insisted on slitting her wrists to preserve her chastity, always obeyed her. In my past life, Monica was obsessed with CEO and baby novels. She read about a female protagonist who, after a drunken mistake, stumbled into the CEO's room, got pregnant with 4 babies in one go, and married into a prestigious family. Monica was mesmerized and determined to follow suit. Leveraging her cleaning job at the hotel, she secretly took a personal item the CEO had used. She even asked me, working in the obstetrics department, to help her medically conceive. I warned her to be careful, explaining that the wealthy are rarely so careless, never leaving personal items scattered around. Moreover, the item she brought back looked exactly like the free samples distributed in public, incredibly cheap. How could a CEO with tens of billions in assets use such low-quality items? After hearing my analysis, Monica grew worried that the item might not belong to the real CEO and promptly threw it into the trash. To my surprise, a few months later, another cleaning lady used the exact same method to get pregnant with the CEO's child. This time, it was septuplets, all girls. This ordinary mother now lived a life of luxury. Though the CEO didn't marry her, he gifted her a mansion worth billions, luxury cars worth tens of millions, hired numerous nannies, and provided 2 million yuan monthly. Upon learning this, Monica hated me for ruining her dream of a wealthy marriage. She lured me to an illicit clinic and forced me into prostitution to earn money for her. A 35 cm needle pierced through my body. I screamed in agony, begging Monica for my life, but she, with a twisted face, hissed, "If you hadn't interfered, I could have been pregnant with the CEO's baby, living a life of luxury. This is all your fault, you owe me." I was imprisoned in that dark, sunless clinic, enduring unimaginable torture, and permanently lost my ability to have children. Clinging to my last breaths, I begged her to let me go home. But she feared I would report her to the police and cruelly sold me to northern Myanmar. I died in agony. Monica used the money from selling me to buy a villa, drive luxury cars, and live a magnificent life as a wealthy woman. After I disappeared, manipulated by Monica's deliberate hints, my parents believed I had been kidnapped by human traffickers. They sold our house to search for me everywhere, only to be robbed and murdered. Would my family's tragedy from the past life repeat itself? Looking at the clearly cheap, freely distributed personal item in Monica's hand, I scoffed internally. A CEO, a prominent figure in the elite class, would never use free community samples. Moreover, using the CEO's card to open a hotel room doesn't necessarily mean it was the CEO himself. It could have been his driver or assistant. But why should I warn Monica? In my past life, I advised her countless times, only to receive not gratitude, but bitter revenge, leading to my family's tragic deaths. This life, I decided to respect others' fates. I watched coldly as Monica brought consequences upon herself. I remained silent. Monica angrily shoved me. Anya Tran, you swore at Liam's grave you'd take care of me for life. It hasn't even been a year since he died, and you're abandoning me already? Wah, I even plan to remain chaste for 3 years for your brother. Your family is just too unfair. Hearing Monica, my mother quickly intervened. Monica, don't cry. Anya never said she wouldn't help. She's just worried you'll be deceived. As she spoke, my mother kept signaling me. In my past life, I seized the opportunity to voice my suspicions, suggesting that the cheap item most likely belonged to the CEO's driver. Because of that, Monica abandoned her baby mama dream. This life, I changed my strategy. Instead, I agreed with Monica's words to advise my mother. Monica is still young. How can she remain chaste for 3 years for Liam? I support her bravely pursuing true love. And what Monica said makes sense. If she truly carries the CEO's child, even without marriage, she'd receive proper compensation. Eating well, dressing beautifully for life, living in a villa, driving luxury cars. Who knows, the child might even inherit the family fortune of the elite. Isn't that how it always is in TV dramas? My mother was momentarily stunned. Monica, however, looked at me with satisfaction. My sister-in-law truly has vision, then I'll leave this matter to you. My mother still worried. 10 babies at once, wouldn't her belly burst? Monica, if you really want to have children for the CEO, 2 are enough. Monica impatiently retorted, what do you know, mother? Wealthy families nowadays prefer many children for more blessings. If I have more, there's a greater chance of inheriting more property later. What if one of the 10 children inherits the CEO's fortune? Then I'd become the queen of the elite. Monica was lost in her sweet dream of a wealthy life, but was quickly awakened by harsh reality. It turned out that for the past 6 months, she had been engrossed in CEO and baby novels. Wanting to catch the CEO's eye, she had spent all 500,000 yuan of my brother's compensation money on plastic surgery and expensive cosmetics. She planned to use the found item to get pregnant with 10 children, but when she inquired at the illicit clinic, she learned that one artificial embryo cost a whopping 50,000 yuan. 10 would be 500,000 yuan, and she had no money. Monica came to me. Anya, only you can help me now. Lend me 500,000 yuan. Once I give birth and the children are acknowledged by their wealthy father, I'll pay you back double. I was stunned. A newly employed nurse like me, earning just over 2,000 yuan a month? Where would I get 500,000 yuan to lend her? Monica rolled her eyes. If you don't have it, then mortgage the house and get a bank loan. I've already looked into it. Our old house is in a good location. We can borrow at least 1.5 million yuan for the insemination and to raise the children. Once my children are recognized by their CEO father, not just 1 million, I could repay 10 million. I never imagined she would target the house my parents lived in. I trembled with anger. Monica Chu, how can you even say that? You want to have someone else's children, and then force my family to take out a loan to pay for it. Monica pouted. You're a university graduate, can't you even calculate this? Invest 500,000 yuan now, and once my children are acknowledged by their wealthy father, I wouldn't begrudge giving you 5 million? I immediately refused. No way, that's our only house. If we mortgage it and can't repay the bank and they repossess it, where would my parents live? Seeing my resolve, Monica pointed a finger at my face and spat. You petty, cowardly wretch. You deserve to earn a pathetic 2,800 yuan and starve your whole life. If you don't help me now, once my children are acknowledged by their father, don't you dare expect any benefits from the Tran family. I thought if Monica couldn't get the money, she'd abandon her insane plan. To my surprise, before I even finished my shift, my mother called. Anya, come home quickly. Your sister-in-law is causing a scene at Liam's grave, threatening to slit her wrists right there if we don't mortgage the house and lend her 1 million yuan. What should we do now? I rushed to the cemetery where Liam rested. Sure enough, Monica was holding a fruit knife to her wrist. Seeing me, she immediately drew a line on her wrist, and blood nearly flowed onto my brother's tombstone. Both my parents and I were red-eyed. In my hometown, there's a custom. If a loved one has recently passed, for 100 days, their grave must not be stained with living blood. Otherwise, the deceased cannot reincarnate and will only be reborn as an animal in the next life. Monica was clearly using my brother to coerce me. My parents almost knelt, begging her. I quickly said, "Monica, please get down. It's just 500,000 yuan. Let me think of a way." I took Monica to meet my childhood friend, David's son. He worked at a private loan financial company. As a child, David was often beaten by his father. Each time, my parents would take him home and shelter him, considering it a life-saving kindness. As we entered, I repeatedly winked, signaling to him. David's son pretended to check our house's deed on his computer, then regretfully stated, "This house has already been mortgaged once, and the loan hasn't been fully repaid, so it cannot be mortgaged a second time." Monica cried out anxiously, "How can that be? My in-laws bought this house outright." I quickly put on an embarrassed face and confessed. "At this point, I can't hide it anymore. That year, our family gave your family a betrothal gift of 280,000 yuan. My parents mortgaged the house to get that bank loan." Monica angrily screamed, "No money and you get married? Don't tell me you expect me to pay off that debt now." "Listen, Anya Tran, your brother is dead. I'm no longer a daughter-in-law of the Tran family. Your loans have nothing to do with me. Don't even think about making me pay." I feigned sadness, covering my face and pretending to cry. David's son immediately handed Monica his business card, enthusiastically pitching, "Madam, I just checked your bank history and your credit score is very high. You don't need collateral, you can still get an unsecured loan." Monica rejoiced. "Really, how much can I borrow at most?" David's son smiled. "As long as it's not over 1 million, any amount is fine." Monica immediately turned to me, pulling me aside. "Mr. Son, could you see how much my sister-in-law can borrow? She graduated from a prestigious university and works as an official nurse at a maternity hospital. She'll definitely be able to borrow more than me. Or, how about we use her name for the loan?" I struggled free. "Why? You're the one who wants the insemination." Monica raised her voice. "Because I'm upholding my chastity for your brother. Because he died so early and didn't leave me a single child. I'm suffering like this, and you still refuse to help me. Do you want me to have no descendants?" Enraged, I pointed and scolded her. "No one is stopping you from remarrying. You're the one who stubbornly stayed at our house, crying and making a fuss, forcing me to let you uphold your chastity for my brother." After I finished speaking, Monica slumped to the ground, slapping her thighs and crying curses. People around us pointed and whispered. A few older women even spoke up. "Young lady, your sister-in-law wants to borrow money to have a child. It's also to continue your brother's lineage. Logically, the husband's family should cover these expenses. Your brother died, and your sister-in-law not only upholds her chastity, but also wants to bear him heirs. Where could you find such a devoted daughter-in-law?" Upon hearing this, Monica revealed a smug expression, but she didn't realize I was no longer the easily bullied sister-in-law from my past life. I immediately took out my phone and played a video I had secretly recorded at home. In the video, Monica held a small Ziploc bag containing a used personal item. Her voice then rang out, full of self-satisfaction. Back then, I just used 1 cup of milk tea to trick the hotel receptionist into telling me which room the CEO was in. After he left the room, I rushed in, rummaged through the trash, and took the used item home. She brazenly ordered me, "Based on your hospital job, help me perform 10 artificial inseminations and give birth to 10 children for the billionaire CEO." Upon hearing this, the crowd around us could take no more. They cursed in unison. "How shameless! She wants to have children for a stranger, yet expects her in-laws to pay? This woman is truly sick, daring to steal someone else's personal belongings. How disgusting. That CEO at the hotel is truly unlucky, suddenly having 10 children fall from the sky. It's truly terrifying. No matter how you look at it, she acts like a child. Daring to trick the CEO out of a huge sum of money, utterly shameless." Listening to the crowd's insults, Monica's face turned green then white, but she still regretted losing this chance to borrow money. Reluctantly, she pulled out the documents from her bag. She signed and fingerprinted, borrowing 900,000 yuan in one go. As soon as she had the money in hand, Monica immediately hailed a taxi to the illicit clinic. Before leaving, she smugly told me, I borrowed this money with my own capabilities. Your family didn't give it to me. Later, when I, the baby mama, marry into a wealthy family, don't expect the Tran family to bask in my glory." I smiled and replied, "Then I wish you, Monica, all the best. May you give birth to 10 children at once and quickly enter that wealthy family's door. I'm just very curious if you can even endure giving birth to 10 babies at once." The next time I saw Monica was at the maternity hospital where I worked. She came for a prenatal checkup. Without my interference, Monica, who had been completely immersed in CEO and baby novels, really borrowed money and went to the illicit clinic, having 10 embryos implanted at once. Ordinary people pregnant with quadruplets can barely cope, let alone 10 at once. During the ultrasound, when the doctor saw Monica's belly full of densely packed embryos, she broke into a cold sweat. She advised Monica to immediately reduce the number of fetuses, or her life would be in danger in the late stages of pregnancy. After hearing this, Monica started to get scared and immediately asked, "Can we just reduce the female fetuses and keep the male ones?" The doctor's face turned serious. "That's not possible. Fetal reduction only reduces the quantity. Gender cannot be determined." Monica immediately clutched her belly and screamed, "Then I won't reduce any. I'm carrying the legitimate children of the elite CEO. If they're boys, they'll be billionaires' heirs someday." The doctor continued to advise, "Giving birth to 10 babies at once is extremely dangerous for both mother and children. It can easily lead to miscarriage or hemorrhage. If you don't reduce the fetuses, you might lose both mother and children." Monica scoffed, as if she had uncovered a conspiracy, and pointed at the doctor, yelling, "I knew it. You're deliberately trying to trick me by saying I can't keep 10 babies, wanting to persuade me to reduce them, and then sell my children to some reproductive clinics, aren't you? Everyone, come and see. This hospital wants to kill my children for money. Do you know how much each fetus is worth now? I'm young and beautiful. Each of my healthy embryos can be sold for 100,000 yuan. 10 babies are 1 million yuan. You want to trick me into fetal reduction to steal and sell my children." Hearing her shriek like that, the doctors dared not advise her further. Everyone fell silent. Monica, even more smug, seized the opportunity to hand out business cards to several couples undergoing premarital checkups, advising them, "Modern medicine is so advanced now, why bother giving birth one by one? Do what I do. Spend some money to get several embryos, put them all in your belly, have triplets or septuplets, as many as you want. If anyone wants to do it, call the number on the card. I'll introduce you to a reputable facility." Then she glared at us, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Don't trust these useless doctors. They say all sorts of things. They tell you to reduce fetuses and have one by one, but really, they just want more money. For one child from checkup to birth, the hospital makes hundreds of thousands." Seeing that some people were starting to believe Monica and wanted multi-embryo insemination, I immediately called security to escort her out of the hospital. From that day on, perhaps fearing the hospital would force fetal reduction, Monica never returned for another prenatal checkup. But I knew she would be back, sooner or later. Sure enough, 3 months later, an ambulance brought her to our hospital. She was carrying 10 babies. She was barely 6 months pregnant, but her belly was monstrously huge, distended like a balloon about to burst, covered in countless stretch marks, and she was drenched in sweat. She clutched her belly, screaming in pain at the nanny and telling the hospital, "All 10 of my children must be saved. No fetal reduction, I won't sign anything. Anyone who dares touch my babies, I'll have their father, the CEO, come settle the score." As soon as she finished screaming, the doctor examined her and reported, "It's not that we want to perform fetal reduction, but there are signs of placental abruption, excessive amniotic fluid, and some fetuses already have their umbilical cords wrapped around their necks. If we delay any further, the 10 children in your womb could suffocate at any moment. Then, not a single one will survive, and your life will also be in danger. We must perform an emergency C-section immediately." Hearing she needed surgery right away, Monica struggled up and slapped the doctor hard across the face. "How dare you? I don't agree to surgery. My babies are only 6 months old. What if they can't survive if you take them out now? I'm telling you all, these are the legitimate children of the billionaire CEO. Anyone who dares touch my babies, I won't forgive you even in death." Despite being slapped by Monica, the doctor, prioritizing human life, earnestly instructed the nanny, "The patient's condition is extremely critical. She could hemorrhage at any moment. At that point, both mother and children could be lost. Please quickly call the patient's family, preferably her husband." The nanny stood frozen. I don't know who her husband is. She doesn't have a husband to call." I quickly stepped forward to explain to the doctor. "The truth is, she isn't anyone's CEO's wife. She just secretly took a personal item a CEO left behind in a hotel and paid for 10 embryos herself." The doctor was speechless. "If she's your sister-in-law, surely you have her family's phone number. The situation is critical. Quickly call her family to sign the consent forms." Out of respect for my brother, I still called Monica's parents. A moment later, they arrived with Monica's brother and sister-in-law. Upon meeting us, Monica's parents immediately blamed my family entirely. "My poor daughter. Did the Tran family force her to have children? How wonderful. She's risking her life to have children for your family, while you cower and hide, daring to call us to sign papers and pay bills. These aren't our children. On what grounds do you demand we pay?" I immediately interrupted them. "I'm sorry, but your daughter is pregnant with children who are not my brother's." Monica glared at me with hatred, then immediately tossed her head, speaking proudly to her parents and siblings. "I'm carrying the direct heir of the billionaire CEO. Let me tell you all, as long as I give birth successfully, my son will be the heir to the CEO's fortune. Your new son-in-law is a billionaire CEO." Monica's parents were so excited they almost jumped up. Despite the pain, she still smiled smugly. "It's fine if we're not married yet, but once I give birth to the direct heir, for the sake of family honor and the children's status, their family will definitely welcome me with an 8-bearer sedan. Now that you're here, I'm giving you a chance to prove yourselves. Later, when the doctor asks you to sign, absolutely do not sign. Understand? Keeping these 10 children in my womb means securing a lifetime of glory and wealth for our family." Monica's parents nodded eagerly. Her brother and sister-in-law, thinking of the billions in fortune, tore up the surgery consent form the nurse brought over. Monica's parents even pulled me aside, ordering me to summon the hospital's best doctor to protect Monica's pregnancy. In my past life, I would have certainly pleaded with her family to sign the surgery consent form immediately, reminding them that children could be born again, but a life is singular. But this life, I decided to respect others' fates. I smiled and nodded. The hospital will certainly respect the family's wishes. As long as the family doesn't agree, the hospital will not force surgery. Hearing this, Monica's eyes flickered with unease. She suddenly gripped my hand tightly. "Anya, you studied medicine. Tell me honestly, if I don't have surgery and just continue the pregnancy, can I keep all 10 babies?" Looking at Monica's calculating eyes, I knew that no matter what I said, if the outcome wasn't to her liking, she would surely dump all the blame on me. Just as she was about to make me take the fall, an idea suddenly struck me. "Monica, our hospital has limited expertise, and coincidentally, there's a training course happening. The 2 best doctors for high-risk pregnancies are both away on business trips. If you stay here and happen to lose all 10 babies, what hope would you have of becoming the baby mama who marries into a wealthy family?" Monica grew anxious. "Then what should I do?" I pulled out the business card for the illicit clinic that she had given me before and quietly slipped it back into her hand. "Go find the people who did your insemination. I heard those people are very skilled. They even invite famous provincial doctors. Your case can't be handled here at our hospital. I advise you to go find them quickly. They specialize in helping the wealthy have children. Their expertise in managing pregnancies is definitely more professional than ours." Monica seemed to awaken, immediately giving me a contemptuous look. "I knew it. You doctors and nurses at public hospitals just collect a paycheck. You have no real ability at all. But this time, out of respect for your honesty, I won't sue you." With that, Monica demanded to be discharged immediately. The doctor still tried to persuade her, explaining that her condition was very dangerous, with the risk of premature birth and hemorrhage at any moment. To my surprise, Monica's mother immediately threw herself to the ground, crying and screaming, "Come see this. This hospital is colluding with human traffickers. My daughter is carrying 10 babies, what a great blessing. Yet, this hospital is so cruel as to say she has a difficult pregnancy." I see clearly that they want to push her into the operating room, then claim the premature babies all died, and secretly sell them off. Monica's family caused such a commotion that the entire hospital couldn't bear it. They had no choice but to sign her discharge papers. I don't know what methods that illicit clinic used, but it genuinely helped her maintain the pregnancy. That evening, I coincidentally scrolled past one of Monica's short videos. In the video, she was dressed glamorously, her swollen belly prominently displayed, meticulously made up, recounting a sweet love story between herself and a crown prince of the elite. In the story she fabricated, she was a beautiful young widow who coincidentally met the crown prince at a hotel and spent a passionate night with him. Not long after, she discovered she was pregnant with 10 babies at once. At the end, she even publicly sent a message. Even if you might not remember me, you can't deny that we have 10 children. My CEO, the children and I are waiting for you to come and pick us up. The video caused a sensation on social media, especially because that crown prince was the son of the #1 financial magnate. The clip quickly went viral. Many curious reporters also shared it and directly tagged the real crown prince, Mr. Chen. Monica certainly couldn't have imagined that at that moment, I was sitting right in front of the real crown prince, Mr. Chen, playing him the secretly recorded video from a few months prior. After watching it, his eyes wide with fury, he choked out, "This is slander, fabrication. 6 months ago, I was in Europe working on a project. I wasn't even in the country at all. How could anything have happened at a hotel? Moreover, there's no way I'd carelessly discard personal items like that." My guess was correct. With such a background, even if Mr. Chen were dating a girlfriend in a hotel, he would meticulously clean up, especially personal items, leaving absolutely no traces. Otherwise, people like Monica, who dream all day of becoming a baby mama, would have already given birth to hundreds of children for CEOs, and it wouldn't have been her turn. Seeing Mr. Chen still bewildered, I kindly reminded him, "Perhaps you should check your card transaction history." Mr. Chen frowned. "I have so many cards I can't even remember them all. Luckily, I'm a bank VIP, a few calls and it can be traced." They finally found the person who opened the hotel room that night. It wasn't Mr. Chen, but the son of his family's housekeeper. That housekeeper was a private nurse I once hired for my grandfather. Due to the company's expansion in Africa, I worried my grandfather might need urgent money and wouldn't be comfortable asking, so I had my assistant make a supplementary card in my name, preloaded with a few million yuan. I never expected the housekeeper to secretly take the card for her son to use and cause such an outrageous incident. "I won't let them get away with this." Mr. Chen gritted his teeth. He immediately had his lawyer draft a rebuttal, attaching the video I provided that was publicly available online. He simultaneously tagged Monica and the housekeeper's son, warning them to prepare for a court summons. Monica was so scared she quickly deleted the video, but it was too late. The video had been screen recorded by countless netizens and news accounts. It was widely shared, and the comments section was filled with condemnation for Monica. "This is too terrifying. I wouldn't dare date in a hotel anymore. You might accidentally become an unwilling father. Is no one regulating this? If you can get pregnant just by picking up someone else's used items, wouldn't society fall into chaos? The most pitiable are the 10 babies in that woman's womb. The father won't acknowledge them, and the mother can't raise them. Who knows what will become of them? Will they be abandoned?" The 5-star hotel where Monica worked immediately issued a statement, dismissing her and announcing a lawsuit for damaging the hotel's reputation, demanding millions in compensation. Monica was in complete panic, constantly calling me. When she called, I was already in a taxi with my parents, heading to the airport. Having lived through one lifetime, I would never let anyone hurt my family or me again. After I handed the video to Mr. Chen, he thanked me by transferring 1 million yuan to me. I immediately resigned from my job, preparing to take my parents on a world tour. Before we departed, I wrote an anonymous letter to the police, reporting Monica and the illicit clinic that had caused my death in my past life. But before leaving, I still wanted to hear what Monica had to say. I answered the call. Monica's furious screams immediately erupted from the other end. "Anya Tran, it was you, wasn't it? You secretly recorded that video and gave it to the Crown Prince, didn't you?" I calmly nodded. "That's right. Didn't I do it to help you quickly find the biological father for your children?" Monica gritted her teeth. But those children aren't the crown princes. The person who came to the hotel that day wasn't the crown prince, but the son of the housekeeper from their family. Anya Tran, you're so smart, you figured everything out. Why didn't you warn me? I replied coldly, I did warn you in my past life. What was the outcome? Do you remember? I chuckled, asking again, did I force you to steal someone else's personal item and discard it? Did I force you to borrow money to have children? You yourself were too greedy, wanting to give birth to 10 babies at once to transform your life into that of a baby mama. Now your beautiful dream has turned into a nightmare. Are you blaming me? Monica frantically screamed into the phone. Then why didn't you stop me? I calmly replied. Because I learned a lesson, to let go of the urge to save others and respect their fate. Out of consideration for my brother, I'll tell you one last thing. Carrying 10 babies, even with efforts to save them, has an extremely low chance of successful birth. If you want to save your own life, it's best you go to a legitimate public hospital. Have surgery to remove all of them as soon as possible, and take care of yourself. With that, I decisively hung up and casually added Monica's number to my blacklist. The last time I saw Monica was on a social news report, topping the hot search. Monica had died. She died on the operating table of the illicit clinic. It turned out that facility had no fetal preservation techniques at all. When she transferred from our hospital to theirs, the 10 babies in her womb had already been strangled by their umbilical cords, suffocating to death beforehand. The illicit clinic had deceived her, claiming they could preserve the fetuses. In reality, they were just giving her expensive nutrient IVs to keep her temporarily alive. What they truly wanted was the umbilical cord blood of the babies, because some wealthy families with incurable diseases were willing to spend their entire fortunes to find suitable cord blood. If there was a match, its value was far higher than simply giving birth. After finding a buyer, the clinic immediately put Monica on the operating table, anesthetized her, and performed a C-section right away. It was said that when they opened her womb, there were 10 fetuses crammed together, many not fully developed, without formed limbs. Even if they had been born, they would have had birth defects. In truth, that clinic never intended to save the lives of those 10 children. In their eyes, Monica and her 10 unborn children were merely commodities for profit. Monica died right on the operating table, her mind still clinging to the dream of giving birth to her precious babies and marrying into a wealthy family. Upon receiving my anonymous letter, the police immediately moved to arrest everyone at the clinic. But by the time they arrived, Monica had already stopped breathing. Monica's parents and siblings had originally hoped she would give birth to 10 CEOs' children and transform her life into that of an aristocratic mother. When they learned the truth, that she had mistaken the person, that the item taken from the hotel wasn't the CEO's but the housekeeper's sons, and that the 10 children she borrowed money to have were fathered by no one important, just a servant's son, Monica's parents and siblings saw no benefits and even faced the burden of debt. They silently fled. No one bothered to arrange her funeral, so the police had to call my parents. Out of consideration for my brother, my parents initially intended to take care of Monica's funeral. To our surprise, when we returned, the police handed over Monica's phone. On the phone, they discovered evidence of an attempted kidnapping, and the person Monica intended to kidnap was me. The money Monica borrowed from the financial company was fundamentally insufficient to cover the costs of managing a pregnancy with 10 children. To keep her CEO's babies in her womb, she once again, just like in my past life, conspired with someone inside the illicit clinic, planning to stage a human trafficking case. They planned to kidnap me and bring me to the illicit clinic, then exploit my high education to force me to bear children for wealthy individuals. When my parents saw the chat logs between Monica and the kidnappers, they trembled with anger, vowing they no longer wanted to handle her funeral. Since there was no one to claim her, Monica's body was hastily cremated. Her ashes were buried in a desolate plot of land, alongside others no one acknowledged. After Monica's death, I didn't return to work at the hospital. Instead, I became a blogger specializing in exposing and critiquing entertainment content. I revisited the CEO and baby novels Monica had been obsessed with. Using a clear-headed perspective, I exposed the absurdity and toxicity of that brainless genre. Initially, I only wanted to warn dreamy girls. Don't be blinded by the CEO's false glamour. Don't play the pregnant and on the run game and ruin your life. To my surprise, my satirical videos exploded overnight. I became a famous expose blogger online. Netizens praised me as the warrior against blind romanticism.